Ding.
If you think about it, say you've got 100 people.
But even lesbians
10 of them are
have
gay,
anal sex.
so 5 of them have had anal sex. If the rest of them are straight, that means he's talking about 40 other people who have had anal sex but are straight. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I really wish that, like, orientation and gender identity was actually on the census, the national census, because then we'd actually have some up-to-date statistics to bloody work with.
Yeah,
Because everything else is like finding the niche things of colleges.
I mean, for example, here in Germany, we try to be so super open and everything, and in some ways we are, but at the same time, if you are a male person who admits to having sex with another male person, you, for example, can't donate blood. Or
same here.
Oh my god.
Same here.
Which is
same fucking thing here.
Yes? Oh my god, here's not.
It mustn't even get started on it.
Oh my god, you don't have that? Oh god. Well, it specifies specifically on the questionnaire, have you had anal sex ever? And have you had sex with someone who has had anal sex ever?
No, it says... It's have you had anal sex with a man, not if you've had anal sex with a woman.
But it's the same.
Oh god, really?
Yeah, it's not
I understand that anal sex is a bigger blood transfer of like bloodborne disease risks. If the question was just have you ever had butt sex, then I would be okay with being excluded for that reason. But the fact it's have you ever had butt sex with a man.
Yeah, and also that only men get asked that question,
of course,
which makes it even more.
Women get asked.
No.
Women get asked. Have you ever had sex with a man who's had anal sex with a man?
Not here. Not here.
Exactly.
No questions at all about your bum in Germany for when you're.
Also,
my mind is blowing right now because that question sounds like from another planet. It's like.
I didn't know that either, because I went to donate blood and I wasn't asked anything like that. I wasn't asked anything about sexuality at all. Not at all. I was asked if I was taking any kind of medication, if I drank enough that day, if I had something to eat, and that was it. And through a friend who happens to be a gay man and now living in Ireland, where you're allowed to donate blood even if you're a man and have had sex with another man. He told me that you're not allowed to do that in Germany, and I was like, "What? What kind of awful society are we living in?" But yeah.
But actually,
when
you're doing, oh, sorry, Harry.
No, it's alright. I was just going to clarify one more thing. It's that it used to be that if you've had anal sex, you can never ever give blood ever. It had changed a few years ago to be if you've not had sex in the past year. Then that's okay.
So if I say I'll find a husband, marry him, settle down, have a house and some kids and things like that, I could still never give blood if we were regularly having sex.
Yeah,
yes,
that's fantastic. Yeah. I think here you're just generally
basically figure out a birthday period thing.
If you've just ever like come in the general vicinity of another man's anus with your penis or the other way around, you're just never allowed to donate blood ever again.
It feels like such a sad thing, though, the year period, because it's like, oh, I can give blood. God, I'm lonely.
Yeah.
It just feels so sad and weird to put that on people.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It seems like some real and pretty bad kind of, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Discrimination, exactly. It's so discriminating. I mean, there's so many ways that you could attract
bleed.
Kind of
I just want to bleed for my country.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's so many ways that you could attract bloodborne disease. As a woman, as an asexual person, as anything. But nothing matters. Only that one particular thing. And it's just so weird that I can't see that as a sign of like saying, yeah, we're just trying to be careful. You're not trying to be careful. You're just discriminating as one very specific kind of people. And that's just absolutely awful. And I was completely shocked when I heard it. And I'm ashamed to be living in this country where this still happens.
I'm really surprised because I'm donating. I donate blood here in Spain, And of course, they made a test for you, and of course, they ask you a lot of things, and they ask about, if I remember, have you don't have sex with more of 2 or 3 people, something, questions like that. But when you donate, they send the results to your home, and they say, hey, you are not AIDS, you have not AIDS, you have not hepatitis. I don't know.
Yeah.
And yes, and but they let you donate blood, and that's really surprising, because I think that kind of law was proposed a few months ago, and the gay community just explodes of indignation.
Rightly so.
And it's normal, because I can't believe that kind of laws actually exist in that kind of time. And for me, as I say, it's from another planet. So I don't know if we have that problem about that kind of discrimination just for donating blood. How cannot we have problems doing other kinds of porn?
Yeah.
Or trying to say, hey, porn, it's not a dirty thing. We can do different kinds of it, and we can actually make the people learn or feel identified.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
If something as simple as giving blood doesn't even work properly and without discrimination, yeah.
Leaping off of what Tab said about Saga, Image are doing a lot of really good comics at the moment that just include sex as a thing that happens. Please deal with it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's...
which is great. Rat Queens by Curtis Weeb and Rock Upchurch is really good. Basically, D&D adventuring party of kick-ass ladies who just do not give a shit about people's rules.
Brilliant. Yeah.
It's so funny and like so kick-ass and very gory.
In the webcomics world, I just got a friend recommended me Butt Smithy. That's it's a bit of it's sort of medieval fantasy style, but it's got a very interesting relationship between a very fancy elf lord and a I think it's a halfling. I'm not too sure what races are in this series.
She looks like a halfling from the... Sorry, I've looked it up.
Yeah.
It's got gorgeous
artwork.
artwork.
The artwork is gorgeous. And the plot's, all right. But it's got a very interesting dynamic written from the point of view from a dominant woman, which is something you don't get very often. So I think
that's true, yeah.
Not without them also being a psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's about he's a very openly submissive, as in a really bratty, awful human being kind of submissive. And yeah, it was just a very interesting dynamic, and I'd recommend that a comic just to for variety's sake and gorgeous artwork.
Yeah.
And
Did this person recently feature on Ojo Sex Toy?
Oh my god, I loved it.
Have you all just looked it up?
It sounded really good.
I haven't, I will.
Everyone up on their computer now, like, well, I know what I'm doing with my evening.
I did this during Kami's interview, and we looked up The Glass Scientist, and literally there's 10 straight minutes of gawking over how gorgeous the artwork is.
Yeah.
Sparkle horse.
So sparkly, that horse. Oh my
Those
god.
colors.
No, I need to read this comic now.
Yeah, go.
I have a recommendation too, because I really think that it's great to recommend it here. I don't know if it's been published in England or in English. The recommendation is Fraises Chocolat. It's the translation will be Strawberry and Chocolate. It's a comic book. Anyone know it?
No.
It's a comic book about a girl that is a starting comic artist that explains her relationship with a professional comic artist that lives in Japan. Actually, they are a couple right now, and she explains all her sexual adventure with him and all her love adventure with him. And it's in 2 numbers. and they do explicit sex. They talk about their fears and the different of ages, because there are 20 years of difference of age difference between them, and it's really, really interesting. It's so cute and talks about sex as what it is. Sometimes it's wonderful, sometimes it's dirty, sometimes doesn't work because you have some problems, and I think it's a wonderful comic to read about.
I'm finding it in French. I'm seeing if it's available in English. But that'd be super
I have
cool.
it in Spanish because it's a wonderful comic, but sometimes that kind of intimate comics doesn't travel a lot. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I know what you mean, yeah. Sometimes they don't get out of their country of origin. This is why so many online scanlation groups exist who take their own time without any payment at all to translate things because they think it's worth sharing, which is a totally awesome effort.
Yes, I'm in love with that kind of people.
I'd love it if the companies they often translate from, and they often actually put up a disclaimer saying whenever anything gets published in English, and then are like, we are taking this one down, you have 5 days left to read it, sorry about that, but please support the actual artist, which is amazingly cool.
Actually,
I'd love it if the publishers actually look at this sometimes and go, hey, why don't we just pay them for the translation they've already done?
Yes.
Yeah, especially since often the fan translations are much better than the commercial ones.
Oh god, yes. They're so much more respectful of the original text.
Yes.
Or sometimes it's instead of replacing jokes, they will explain them instead, and it's really interesting. Yeah.
And also, I mean, those people translate it because they love the original text and not because they just have to and maybe are super stressed and have to translate a zillion things all at the same time. And
yeah.
Well,
actually, to that end, I'll totally recommend After School Nightmare. I don't know if anyone's read that one.
I think I've heard of it. The name rings a bell.
Tell us more, Harry.
It is a manga. Yes, a 10-volume manga. It's a manga that finished. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, wow.
And it's a really interesting one that uses tons of metaphors. The protagonist is an intersex. It's a manga, so they're in school, obviously. But it's about them going to therapy, and it's a kind of supernatural dream therapy where they go through a shared dream with other students, and they are all transformed into things that represent their issues that they're working through. Yeah, and theirs is that they change gender, and they're trying to work through why they would do that, and they don't want that. And it's just a massive, massive, interesting story that doesn't waste much. And it's got some bisexuality in it, and it's got some gore in it, but also some really interesting dynamics in it. And it actually starts off kind of tropey, but then partway through the tropes all unravel into why these are unhealthy and horrible things.
Very good.
And it's so good for that reason. And, there's not a lot of intersex media out there. So I'm totally going to put that one forward. I'm trying to be not too greedy with recommendations, but I kind of have to talk about Sex Criminals if people are okay with that one too.
Sex
I
Criminals.
want that comic.
I picked it up in when I was in America in a comic book store. It's the one about the two people who have a one-night stand, and they realise that both of them, all of their lives, every time they've orgasmed, they enter this time stop zone, which they've been using to rob people steadily over the years, and it's about finding another person who can do it. And that's literally about as far as I got.
It's amazing. I've got the hardback first volume with me. If you visit at any point, feel free to read it because it's amazing. The hardback, by the way, is called Big Hard Sex Criminals because Chip Zdarsky and
what rating is that? Is that one okay to sell in a shop, but mine isn't? I don't.
Let's read the back. This is also rated M for mature
because
there isn't an erect penis, and also the man's penis glows, and I think that's why.
Okay.
Does it actually do that? Is that not just
When they enter the quiet, as they call it, which is this time-stopped world after it's specifically when they orgasm, they stop time.
But if he gets an erection again, time starts again, which so
they get left behind.
Yeah, it's awkward.
It's really good. I mean, I like it because the premise is really silly, but the details are really deep in a lot of places.
Something that obviously
the premise
started out as a joke, but then the author just ran with it, and you got to expect that.
Matt Fraction took it to Chip to draw, and he said, "Just so you know, we're totally getting cancelled after like 2 issues." And he's like, "This sounds fun. Why not?" And now they're just one of the most popular Image comics. It's brilliant. So there's a couple. They climax. They stop time. So they use it to rob banks to fund a closing public library.
Aw.
That is our incredibly silly, hilarious premise. The detail is, how do they keep having sex with each other despite then slowly learning each other's own problems and like having problems getting erections and things that are perfectly human, and then they go to the doctors and things and like start living together, discover it doesn't actually work that well. It's so human when it starts out so silly, and I just love the kind of pullback reveal. It's got a lot in common with, I think, your work, Tab, as it starts out really lovely and approachable, and then very quickly becomes like, I'm drowning in angst.
It's how I reel them in. Like, I start with, like, pretty run-of-the-mill gay romance, and then it's just slowly downhill, and you learn, and I learn, and it's, everyone learns. And what did you learn? Never to trust. Sorry.
No, it's alright. I love it. I love that you're the anti-Alex Wolfston. Because Alex Wolfson's work goes the opposite way of leading you in with something truly horrific and then pulling back and be like, don't worry, I know it was crazy, don't worry.
I heard about
it's
that.
Alright, it was meant to be horrible.
Actually read that far in. I want to give it a go, but...
I know that... Well, I was holding off... Sorry, we're talking about Alex Wolfson's latest project, The Young Protectors, which has something that is incredibly worrying.
Oh, he's the one. All right, okay. The name didn't.
Yeah.
Mm.
And basically, his first comic, Artifice, is much shorter and is
amazing.
amazing,
Yes.
and everybody loves
That's
it.
one I love as well. Yeah.
I had such feelings.
But I was holding off putting The Young Protectors onto my recommended readings list, and Tab was worried about reading it as well, and we both came to the same conclusion of, when they do a reveal for this sex scene that is coming up, if it turns out this character is trying to trap this much younger person for horrible reasons, that's great, because this looks really suspect and horrible.
Mm-hmm.
If he isn't, then this is really worrying.
Yes.
And brings the author massively down in our estimations. And that's why I'm okay saying, spoiler, it is good writing, don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I had started to read that and then forgot about it, which is basically like my usual way
so
I
the
deal with
webcomic
things.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I only got to the point where it started getting sort of dodgy, and then I was like, I don't know if I like where this is going.
Yeah, and people making fan art about them and writing fics, and it's like, guys, this is not a healthy dynamic or relationship. Please
Yeah,
stop.
there's the thing again.
My fans are they wouldn't stand for that shit. They'll be like, Tab, what you doing? Stop. And I'll have to be like, give it time, guys, and they'll be like, no.
I remember a period, every other page was, Anwar's a dick, why is Anwar a dick? It's like, because he acts like a human being, goddammit, please wait.
Some of the stuff my characters are like, that is reprehensible what they've done there. It's things that I have forgiven people for with no qualms in my life. I think there's just something about reading stories where you just don't forgive characters, or you say that they're good or evil, whereas in reality it's just a fucked up, muddled mess. And if you spend your life telling someone, holding it to a moral code and never forgiving anyone, you won't get much places.
Well, if we don't have media where people have flaws, how is anyone who's responding to that media ever meant to forgive themselves for making mistakes?
Mm.
You know, it's putting way too much unrealistic pressure on humans if you want them to be perfect all the damn time. And again, it's a thing I really like about your work, that people make horrible mistakes, and there's usually apologies that follow because they're people.
One thing I'm trying is how many horrible mistakes can I have where people don't actually apologise? Because when was the last time someone actually said sorry to you for anything?
That's a good point.
I'm excusing myself all the time.
Yeah.
Like for being late and stuff like that.
I'm sorry I wrote all of this stuff for free for you. I'm just sorry.
Let's see, has everyone done a recommendation?
I haven't, but I don't have anything to recommend really, because I I'm awful with reading things, and
You can talk about Straya.
I can talk about Straya, but there's not really much in the way of sex or sexuality going on there yet. So
That's true.
I mean, it's a lovely comic. It's fantastic. It's gorgeous. The colors and the backgrounds and the characters are very diverse and very pretty in that way.
There's a horrible part of me that's very greedy that wants to say, "What do you mean yet? What do you know? Please tell me."
Yeah, but being friends
I'm wanting
with
to see a lot of
the two girls who draw it, of course, I know a little more because when you get talking about your characters and stories.
How's it spelt? I need to look at this thing to understand what we're talking about.
It's so diverse, Tab. It's so diverse.
Yes.
I'll link you in the.
It's called Straya, and done by two lovely ladies, and it's really very, very cool. And it's going to get even better because yes, that's going to be an issue, and stuff is going to.
It gave me art feelings. It was like I just clicked on it. It's like a punch to the mouth.
It's
Jesus.
so beautiful. Yes. So detailed and gorgeous, and the colors and the textures used, and it's just amazing. Yes.
I knew Sexuality would come into it due to some recent pages, but it's like, I just want more of it all the time.
Yeah.
I want to see where it goes.
I guess it's
obviously, those kind of pages take quite a while to create, so that's why it's not updating that quickly. But I think it's rather quickly. In fact, for that sort of level, if I tried to do my pages like that, I wouldn't be able to put out as many. I mean, I'm not even.
I was going to say, full color with backgrounds being made for free. Yeah, it's attempting to update twice a week is crazy good.
Yeah.
And I mean, and they have like an actual real life going on next to that, unlike me. But one of them is in university, and the other, I'm not sure. And she's also going to some kind of school. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, they have real lives, and they manage to update that often with that sort of style. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I think we've learned today that there needs to be more good stuff out there, but that making comics is very hard.
Yes. It's so hard.
And it takes a long time.
Sometimes I wish I had someone else to work with to sort of bounce against, because doing all of this stuff on your own sometimes feels like a hard slog. I do wonder what productivity would be like with a second person.
I also keep searching for people like that, but it's difficult because you can't find people who are motivated and interested and are amazing with the things that they do. But it's difficult to find someone who is exactly the right kind of excited and motivated for exactly the thing that you do.
Yeah.
That's the difficulty, I think.
And let's be honest, you have to pick a collaborator more carefully than you do a partner. I might marry you, but I've got to be more careful about the comics I spend my life on, because in some ways, I've spent more time drawing than I have interacting with any other human being that I've ever met.
I definitely have. Oh my god.
Even making a short comic will take at least a year of your life.
Yeah.
Like, Shades of A is one of your shorter projects, Tab, and it's taken 3 years. And it's still finishing. It's not there yet.
I've been working on Get Your Man now for 2 years, and I mean,
oh my gosh, yeah.
Talking pure comic pages, it's, around 200, not exactly 200 even yet. And that's just, I mean, I'm slow and lazy, and that sort of explains it. But still,
that's 100 pages. That's 100 pages a year, 2 pages a week. There you go. You've nailed a webcomic update schedule.
I was going to say that's pretty damn good. I mean, Rain, you've been at Sextories for quite a few years now as well, haven't you?
3 years trying to do something more or less different. But I'm hearing you guys, and I'm thinking that I'm the laziest of you all, because I'm doing a personal project about it's like slice of life and a bit of sex and a lot of I don't know. Problems. I don't know how to explain it. It's a story called The Way is Full of Curves, and the project take me for now 2 years and a half, and now I am doing the first pages because I spent just 2 years writing and writing and writing, and now I'm writing so much.
But I'm so jealous of that. I wish I was able to do something like that, because I'm the exact opposite. I just sit down and start drawing something and I don't know where to go with it.
Script, because then what you do is you finish a story, you look at a giant script, and then you go, now I have to draw it, and then you just go, no. No.
No, I would love that.
This is like having a child. I cannot even.
Yes. Well,
I wish I had that. It's so weird. You always want what you don't have. I would be.
Grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah. I mean, I have a mellow who sometimes writes things for me, and it's just the most beautiful thing. I just open up the file, and there's all the text and what's going to happen, and I just need to draw it. And, like, with every page I draw, I know that I'm going to go, like, full circle. It's going to be a whole thing, and it comes out, like, it's a nice story that is definitely going to work, and it has an end, and it's just, I love it. It's so beautiful.
I think we've learned today that there needs to be more good stuff out there, but that making comics is very hard.
Yes. It's so hard.
And it takes a long time.
I spent today, like, I'm started my new comic series. I spent today fighting a scanner. Yeah.
They only break when it's important, don't they?
It's a new scanner, so I had to make it work.
Oh.
And I'm scanning A3 images into an A4 scanner because an A3 scanner was £200, and I just,
Digital art.
The thing is, like, I've drawn digital for 5 years now.
Wow.
And it's really clean and nice and beautiful, and I've learned so many tricks off Manga Studio and whatnot. I just draw better on paper.
Yeah, the truth is, I'm just jealous of people who can do both, because I can't. I've been drawing digitally, exclusively digitally, for more than 15 years now.
Wow, but you've figured out how to make your line weight so beautiful. Me and Photoshop.
Yeah, but I just can't draw on paper anymore. It's the saddest thing.
I'm totally going to cheat. What my plan is, I'm going to do all the sketches digital so I can change the head sizes, because I don't know how heads are anymore.
Well, I'm absolutely different, because for me, I need to draw in paper. I need to get my hands, what's the word? Yes, dirty, exactly. And for me, just working digital is like, no, please, I need my notebook to take it anywhere. I need to do my storyboards just in paper. I need to do my pages with pencil, watercolor pencils, watercolors. It's like, for me, I cannot live without that.
Yeah, I wish I had that.
I would just smear all of the watercolor up the side of the page. Like, I'm really bad.
Yeah, watercolor is just awful. I'm still at, like, kindergarten level when it comes to watercolor. But it's so beautiful.
When people could do beautiful artwork with pencil crayons, and I remember what I used to do with pencil crayons.
Yes, yeah, it's an absolute mystery. I mean, the beautiful thing about digital art is that you can just try again and again and again and again and again. And if you feel like you can't try again anymore, then you just close the file and try again tomorrow. And then...
But
more.
But you can do it in paper too. You just draw it one time and another time and another time.
But you have to do the inks or whatever. You have to do them again and again and again. And I just would not have the patience for that, because when back in the day, this was like literally 100 years ago, I also did a little bit of drawing on paper. I would hate that sometimes I do inks and I like them, and then I would fuck it all up with the coloring or whatever, and I'd be like, oh no, and now I have to do it again, and then I would do the inks again, and they would look completely different, because
but I have tricks for that, because if you do, for example, the ink version, and you like it, you do a good quality scan, and you can print it in good quality paper, and do all the color tryings that you want.
Yeah. See, I never thought of that.
No, literally what I'm doing with Gay Butlers is I'm printing it off in the cyan blue, inking that and scanning it in. And I didn't realise the cyan blue actually disappeared. Like, I thought I'd have to...
Ah, like the pencils. That's really cool.
Yeah, like the pencils, and it just goes, boop, and it's gone, and I'm just like, whoa!
Yes.
Whoa, technology!
Fantastic.
I love that. It's like, oh my god, I don't know how it's happened, but I love it. And actually, I just use Photoshop for that and to do little illustrations for the enterprise that I work with. But me and Photoshop just are good friends to do lettering and that kind of things.
Fuck lettering.
Yeah.
This is why you have separate departments for lettering and for flatting. There's so many names on the front of like mainstream comics I think that get left out because it's like, here's the artist, here is the author. It's like, you do not come out on this schedule with just 2 people.
That's quite
The
sad.
lettering in this is so legible. This is not an artist's work.
I just wander and get a free font, or do that thing where you print off like a sheet of lettering, fill it out with whatever style in your own handwriting, upload it, and you get your own.
Yeah, I've never tried that. I want to try that with my sort of lettering font that I've kind of developed, but at the same time, like, no, I'm too lazy. Let's just write.
Generally, it saved me so much time. Minority Monsters, if you're familiar with that series I'm doing, it's just like a jokey. That is actually my handwriting. Just
okay.
to Photoshop. It's little boxes and you write the letter in.
I've seen it on Tumblr, like posts about that. Fill in all the letters and then it makes a font.
And it's high enough quality to make big font as well. So it does save a bit of time.
I think the thing with me and lettering is what you've said before, the principle of what was it called? Anyway, to put it short, I don't know enough about lettering to know how badly I'm doing, so I just go with it because I literally do not know anything about lettering. I just write the things.
The key with lettering is you've got to ask yourself this question: can they read it? If you
that's
fucking upload it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it fit in the bubble? Is it legible? And then that's okay.
You just have to ask: is it legible? Good, brilliant.
I also want it to fit into the bubbles, but that's just me.
The bubble fitting is hard though. Literally, I had to try and do some lettering recently for promoting Sextories. Rain sent me some things to translate, and oh my god, why won't the word anything fit in a bubble that size? It's long, it should do it. And it's like, I can see why people do it by hand because it's so
I was just going to say that it is
fonts
easier, because you can vary the size of words and like squeeze things together or draw them out, and this makes it much easier.
I've
and
never
got in contact with the actual artist and they sent it across and I was like, oh yeah, this is what talent looks like. Good. Thank you, actual artist people who know how to do lettering.
Yeah, that's an entire art unto itself, lettering and also like translating and stuff like that. Because I also have to translate Get Your Man into German, which is kind of weird. But it is initially written in English and then I have to translate it back into my own native tongue for the German books and
There's so many roles that don't really get any kind of discussion in the credits of regular mainstream comics. Like, I only discovered recently what a flatter is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Like for the colors, right? Like putting in the flat colors.
Yes, they put just the simple colors.
I'm familiar with that, but I've never heard them called a flatter.
Apparently, literally, I was listening to a Kate Left podcast. I can't remember who she was talking to, but she's talking to someone who said that literally there are days when she goes on Twitter and be's like, any flatters who are following me, I need your help. I don't have time, but I need to make this ready to actually colour. And for those listening, a flatter is someone who takes a sketched and inked drawing and makes it ready to have proper digital colours done to it. Because it's not ready in its raw form.
Do you mean like laying down the actual colours or more cleaning up the line work so that the
both.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't think that it was.
And so the actual colouring you're talking about is more like what I would refer to as adding the shadows.
Yeah.
The
The
effects
highlights,
and
the
stuff
shadows,
like that. Okay.
potential details,
Okay,
gradients. But getting
My
it
mind
ready
is
to
fucking
go from.
blown right now.
That's the thing. If it's someone's like
I could just send my fucking pages on to someone else. Like, do it. Just do it. Just do the thing. Do the thing.
I totally would do that. I always keep offering that to like friends. Yeah, I can do the flats for you.
I'm doing gay butlers in black and white because I'm just like, nah, fuck it.
If you decide to do it in color, I can totally do the flats for you. I would do that. I love doing flats. I just hate doing sketches.
Oh.
That's a Kickstarter goal right there. If Gay Butlers gets over a certain amount in stretch goals, if you
The
print
thing
it,
is,
then
if I
Cameron
want
will
to
do
print
colours.
it, there's two ways I can do it. Sorry, this is Tab's talk about ideas story time. Because it's going to be like Victorian porn. I don't know whether I want to do like actual A3 like newspaper prints, so you could read it like this giant.
Oh my god!
Or whether I want it like a tiny itty bitty book with like a single panel in each page, and you make your way slowly through this tiny little hardback series of illustrations, like a tiny
little book. You know what it needs? It needs one of those red string things as bookmarks,
Yes,
like really fancy, shiny one.
Yeah, and embossed,
so
and
elegant.
something really touchable. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe with a
that's
tassel
beautiful.
on the end.
See,
I imagine that's a service people actually offer, as opposed to getting glitter printed on the front, which has been the greatest pain in the arse since dildos were first made out of sandpaper.
But it's going
Jesus
to be worth
Christ,
it.
why was that so hard?
Glitter.
We finally managed it. We finally actually managed it. Literally, I think it was this morning we got the quote through, and it's like, it's possible. It's actually
I'm not
something
making
humans
it
can
up.
do. The reactions I got, people, it's like they thought I was making the bloody thing up. Yeah, it's so weird, and like I would send emails, and then I'd get a phone call back about, we're responding to your call about a print run quote. Did you find our prices competitive? And I was like, that's not what I asked. I asked if you could print glitter, and they're like, no.
and you're just like,
people
I've
do
never
that.
read the rainbow fish. I know it exists. Okay?
Seriously, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I've seen it on children's books. I'm
I
like,
love
is
that
the
book.
artist there after the print with Pritt stick and art supplies just
Possibly,
going through?
Yeah, possibly.
Ah.
But yeah, the
Sorry,
glitter
that's
fish is
that's
amazing,
been-
and I always wanted to have it because of the glitter, and the fish actually himself is awful,
yeah.
and I don't like him. Though he does end going through a bit of a character development, but still, yeah, fish is kind of a dick, but he glitter.
Oh. But no, yeah. I think the way we found out to do it, by the way, for anyone who's listening who wants to print glittery books, welcome, you're interesting, is to print the cover completely separately at a place that does glitter printing, which I have found 2 of in the country, and then send it to a book printer who's okay with accepting a separate cover and then binding to that.
What about the laminate on the covers? How's that work?
I daren't ask.
You might want to get
No one's brought that up.
yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, what
like,
stops the glitter from coming off?
Possibly
it's
nothing.
a lacquer effect.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh.
Yes, it's really interesting. I found 2 places that do glitter printing,
Yes.
and they do it in totally different ways.
Yeah.
One do it in a lacquer, and one do it in I think they're calling it glitter varnishing.
Yes. No, I understand. It's whether the technique used to wrap that around the book. I'm guessing it perfect bound.
Yes.
Yes. So you're getting card prints with the spine included. So you're just going to have like sheets of front covers. Is that right? In what I'm thinking? Yeah. So sheets of cards, and they'll wrap it round. It'll be depending on whether the perfect bind of the printers, how like hot the glue, how hot everything goes, because you get some melt issues.
They don't seem to have thought that's an issue. I'm really hoping it's not gonna be.
I mean, we won't have any glitter on the spine itself, so I would think that...
Yeah, it's not even...
I mean, I
the
don't
amount, it's
know
just gonna be on
anything about the
front.
printing process or the binding process, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't imagine that the entire thing gets so hot that something like on the cover somewhere...
I'm sure it'd be fine. I'm more like talking
Yeah.
to myself now. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
it makes
the sort of
sense.
person
There
who
wasn't...
watches like the how it's made videos and just like, my God.
It totally makes sense. There was another company that said it might melt in our process and destroy the machine. And then after some discussion, they were like, well, we could try it for one.
Yeah.
sure we couldn't do something that horrible with one, and then see what happens.
Yeah.
And
make
it's
sure.
like, oh, I really don't want to ruin someone's enterprise just to print glitter.
It would be death by glitter. But there's no
know.
better way to go for such a machine.
You've been Cullened. Ah.
Your deeds will be remembered. Your heroic deeds will be remembered.
My technique for editing comic books is I write fucking like epics and lots of text and everything there, and then I go through and I cut as much as physically possible because I'm like, I have to draw it. less is good.
It's the best idea. I've heard like podcasts interviewing people who do like the professional like series individual issue comics, and having to go through that basically to be like, okay, I need to get less pages. How do I decrease the number of panels in this? Okay, well, make this explanation, instead of a page, take like 2 panels. How do I make the words flow better and more streamlinedly so we don't need as many of them? And basically, yeah, it's a very similar process to try and absolutely maximize.
That's the sort of problem I would
efficiency.
like to have. I would like to have so much story that I had to cut something.
Oh, as opposed to being in the Chester 5000 XYV problem of, and now they have sex. How long for? Well, it's the internet. I guess they're going to have sex for about a year for 50 pages.
Yeah,
I love Chester, but goddamn, that was the longest sex scene I have ever read.
More like time delay. It was more like in slow-mo, you know?
It's been like 8 months. It's like,
I don't even know how
no,
long.
you should not have that much vigor. You'll die of dehydration.
They're already dead, Harry. It's the Victorian times.
It is. The other person who's left the book has gotten old and died alone.
Yeah.
It's good, but at the same time, holy shit, girls, take a break. Have tea and crumpets. You're Victorian.
Yeah.
Come back to it later. Alright, well, I guess one other thing is that literally everyone who's here has a book coming up, except for me. I don't know if you're
But you're
ready
part
to
of
talk about.
everything.
I'm not part of TAPS.
Hey, Harry, you want to be involved in mine?
Do you want that?
No,
I can do another
I'm pretty
Kickstarter.
much done. I'm going to have it printed in cranberry.
Ooh.
I was going to say, you've done 2 successful Kickstarters at this point. I think you're okay. You're a machine.
My main one is, do they actually want it?
Ah!
Combined with how many holes will my house have in by the time I'm getting around to kickstarting this? Oh, by the way, for context for that, I bought a house and I got it this Friday, and now I have to make it not shit. And that is my life for the next forever.
This is similar to Jeff's story, because Jeff has a series of omnibuses coming,
Oh,
and
yeah.
needs to have the space for them.
But where? Where?
Punch a hole in the wall.
Where will be the attic? It'll turn into tables, was one discussion.
Yes.
Like you put a piece of wood and a cloth over it, it's instant table. The world of independent comics.
Yeah.
As we were saying, yeah.
No, you were trying to say a thing, like, so we've all got books coming out.
Yeah. Talk about them. Like, just plug what it is you're doing, because you're all really talented people who have stuff people can buy. That's all I was going for, is that I like you people. That's why I brought you onto a podcast. Sorry. Tab, Shades of A is wrapping up soon, I believe.
I've written the last page.
Will we cry or will we smile?
Because
Because it's you. Those are the polarized options.
I'm getting really good at that whole bittersweet ending thing. That moment you're just like, oh, my chest. It's because I like stories that I like things that kind of make my heart clench and punch me in the gut a bit, but give me hope at the end of the day. That's what I'm going for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But no, literally, for the Patreon people, because I'm doing that whole the Patreon, people who give me $5 a month get the ending about 2 months in advance from everyone else. So I'm done. I literally, in the space of a week, I finished a gold suit for a costume. I bought a house and I finished a 3-year project. God, I'm just running on fumes now. When that Shades, the final pages, hit the main site, I will be kickstarting a book to omnibus it all together. If that Kickstarter fails, I'll just bring out a side paperback of the second book and go off to lick my wounds. I'm really excited because it'll be first foray into printing something hardback and getting all the comics in one place. We'll see how it goes. I've got a couple months to plan it, hopefully.
Kami, your Kickstarter for Get Your Man omnibus. Omnibus.
Is that your tagline? Because it needs to be.
It should be, yes. Yeah, I think so.
Omnibus.
Still put that in there, yeah. Omnibus.
Yeah. Oh, the butts. That's happening next month sometime, I believe.
Yes. In August.
That'll be 3 issues in one volume.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, the 3 German issues, which aren't all that long, just 60 pages all in all, and it's not even all comic. And yes, all of that together in one big omnibus edition for the first time in English in print. Yeah, because before it was only in German, and now it's coming out in English, and it's going to be a Kickstarter, and I hope it's going to work.
Of course it will.
I hope so. I've never done anything like this. I mean, I have Harry by my side, which I'm very grateful, because I myself would not have been able to do any of this.
Oh, it's been really fun working with you on such a really cool project that I love, you know.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it totally will, and it will be glittery.
Yes. Oh, I hope we don't break any printing hands. And Rain, your Sextories issue 3 is crowdfunding right now.
Yes, it is. It is, and I'm a bit worried, but it will go okay, I suppose. I'm not sure.
Well, the crowdfunding, it's an interesting one. That's a whole other podcast. I'd say we'll be fine because it funds the most at the beginning and at the end.
Yeah.
And we're nearly at the halfway point, and we've got nearly half of the funds. So I think that if we continue the pace we're at, we should be good.
Because what tends to happen is actually not hitting your goal is both good and bad. My theory on this is basically fans churn up other fans' interests because they want the item, and so while it's not funded, you're more likely to get people giving it money. If you fund really early, that means that people are like, oh, I'll be fine. Yeah, unless people get on board for that reason. But that sort of a will it or won't it work thing really encourages people to get involved because they know that then they'll actually change something by taking part.
Yeah, it's what we found with the Fetish Man Kickstarter for sure. We funded within a few hours. It was brilliant. But the majority, like 90% of the funding was within the first 3 days.
Oh.
It's kind of crazy. Which was amazing. But yeah, as you say, once something is funded, then there's less adrenaline behind it.
Everyone just goes, oh.
Yes,
it's like, job done, huzzah, we leave. Yeah.
But then my first
feeling.
Kickstarter, what happens is they keep giving you money. I know this sounds like the best problem in the world, but there's no way to stop them from giving you money. So, for example, I don't earn enough to have to register for VAT, but it's possible if a Kickstarter they kept giving me money, it meant I'd have to completely audit my accounts and spend thousands of pounds in accountancy fees. If I ever went over that total in a year because of a Kickstarter gone awry. It's like those people have $1 million projects that fund and go nuts, and then they're left with, how do I do this? Because there's no stop button on Kickstarter. There's no stop giving us money, guys. That's enough, thanks. And that's something I'd actually prefer it to have.
Yeah, if it gets you just over the sweet spot where you suddenly have to start paying taxes for it, or have to start paying taxes in general, then that's not so nice, because then by the end you might end with less than you actually wanted, depending on the tax situation.
Yeah, you don't want the situation of stretch goal 100,000. I hire an accountant because I need to. But yeah, crowdfunding discussion is a whole separate podcast. Maybe we'll do that one next. Let's come back in a few months after we've all done our funding.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll start mine in September, I think.
But you've done them before, so you can talk. Even
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, you're a pro, Tab. You've done it twice already.
Yeah.
Actually, as a pro, you should be saying after Kami and Rain have done theirs, you should join in so that you can promote the one that's going on.
Yeah.
You can sit back and laugh at all the mistakes that we've made.
Oh no, I seriously fucked up on my second one.
Really?
I made the mistake of, oh god, I realised this in retrospect now. I almost held the comic to ransom and pissed a lot of people off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, it was more, I know I stopped the story point where I was happy to leave it there, but I was basically writing a shit parody of a shit parody of a shit parody, as I said. And I didn't know if it was worth continuing, because that's a long commitment. So I was a bit like, okay, so $3,000 gets the books printed. To make it worth me doing like another year of it, we'll probably have to get to $6,000. And so continuing the comic was a stretch goal as opposed to the main goal. And I was just sort of letting fate decide whether or not I was going to continue drawing something. And yeah, it cheesed a lot of people off. So don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds reasonable when you explain it like that, but I can also see how to fans who did not have that sort of insider info, you explaining it like that would seem sort of,
Well, fan entitlement is another thing that would be interesting to discuss. I mean, especially if anyone reads Check Please, and the amount of demanding those fans can be sometimes. Yeah,
I regularly get emails for messages from my friends like, I just read your comic section and comment section again and just had an aneurysm.
Yeah, well, I'm not really at that point of popularity yet, I guess. So most of what I get in way of comments and feedback is very positive.
Oh, that's good to hear. Really good.
But at the same time, it's not as much, so it's kind of like, well, yeah. I guess popularity comes with a price, but at the same time, it's popularity, so yeah.
Well, actually, we never stay online, and for us, it's like, okay, let's go with this amazing adventure, because anyone knows about us except people like Harry that investigates the internet, looking for wonderful stuff. But
master stuff.
but for us it's so hard, because we always say that or crowdfunding, it's like having a child with the most painful and horrible and slow way that we can have it. But well, we are trying to appear in every website, every site, and trying to spread the word. But well, I have a lot of learn about you guys.
Oh, it's good. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around and chatting. It's been
lovely to meet.
It's so good.
Lovely to chat.
Yes, for having us.
And look forward to seeing this uploaded probably over the course of a month. When I get through it.
Stop.
I feel so bad for Paul. I had to leave before. But it's all good. It's been lovely chatting as always. And yes, everyone who's listening, check out all of their amazing comics. I'll link them below because they're amazing people.
Oh, you're so cute.
You are. You are.
Well, I'm thinking I will take a shower because I will die if I don't.
Yeah, I think
it was a pleasure. Tab, it was a pleasure meet you.
Yeah, you too. I wish you best of luck with your project.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll do great. And Cami, lovely to actually chat to you. Seeing,
yes,
I might be able to visit at some point in the next couple months. So yes, here's to not being serial killers.
Don't know that yet.
And that's my life motto. Fuck it.
Oh, awesome. Well, best of luck with that. Yeah, everyone have an awesome day. Yeah. Thank you for hanging out for so long. And have an awesome afternoon.
You
or
too.
Evening, depending on where you are. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the podcast and bonus content. Is there anything you'd like to see discussed in future? I'm currently thinking about talking about Kickstarting and crowdfunding, as well as writing for an all-ages audience as opposed to specifically for children. Please leave any suggestions or anything that you particularly liked in the comments below and let us know what you thought. Have a great day.